do a well-rounded flow class, but we're going to be working toward the arm balance hurdler's pose at the end of class. And it's also Ekapada Kundalini 2. Hurdler's pose requires flexible hamstrings, some balance, and open hips. So we'll work toward that at the very end of class. Let's start on our backs today and come into Supta Baddha Konasana, or butterfly leg. So bring the soles of the feet together. Go ahead and lay down on the back. Rest the hands alongside the body, palms face up, or rest one hand on the belly and one hand on the chest. Take a nice deep inhale through the nose, fill the belly, expand. And a big open mouth exhale. At the bottom of the exhale, contract the core, draw the belly button back toward the spine, emptying out all the air. Inhale through the nose, fill the belly, let it expand. Close the lips, exhale through the nose. Take 5 more breaths. Complete this last exhale. And draw the knees into the chest. Press low back down onto the ground. Hands are either on the knees or we're reaching opposite hand toward opposite elbow. Toes, heels, ankles, and knees are side by side. Find a deep compression in both hips as we press low back down onto the floor and tailbone. Keep the right knee where it is. Extend the left leg long on the mat. Interlace fingers around the right knee. And then pull the knee around the ribs and up toward the shoulders. Draw the elbows in. Stay active through the left quadricep, flexing left toes back toward the knee. And then relax the grip on the right knee, bring it back towards center. Extend the right leg up toward the sky. Take hands around the back of the thigh. And then to start to work into the hamstring, walk the hands slowly up the back of the leg, just as far as we can go. And then bring the forehead up toward the knee. Just activating our core a little bit here. And then option to lift that left foot off the floor to hover for 3, 2, 1. If it's lifted, release it. If the shoulders are lifted, release them back down onto the floor. And then with a hold of either your big toe, a strap around the foot, the ankle, or the calf, we're going to start to bring that right leg to the right. Extend the left arm to the left. So we're just going to get into the inner thigh here. See if we can keep the left hip grounded on the floor instead of rolling off to the side. One more breath here. And then bring that leg back towards center. We'll just switch out the hand. So the hand is going to come onto the left foot, ankle, calf, or thigh, and we're going to draw the right leg across the center of the body to the left. Okay, and then both variations, opening up to the right and twisting across the body, it's fine to have that leg bent to 90 degrees as well. And then come back towards center. Just a quick little squeeze of the knee into the chest, and then release that left leg, or the right leg, onto the floor and draw the left knee in toward the chest. Interlace fingers around the knee. Pull the knee around the ribs and up toward the left shoulder. Draw the elbows in. And then get really active in the right leg, flexing the toes back. So quadricep of the right leg is nice and engaged. And then just loosen the grip on the left knee and bring it back towards center. Extend that left leg up toward the sky. Interlace fingers behind the left leg. And then start to walk the hands up the back of the leg. So just coming to the comfortable edge of your own stretch. Option to lift the forehead toward the knee. This will just activate our core a little bit. And then option to keep that or lift that right leg off the floor to hover for 3, 2, 1. Release that right foot back to the floor. If the shoulders are lifted, shoulders down onto the floor. Take hold of the left foot with the left hand and draw the left leg to the left. So opening up through inner thigh. And again, options are to take peace fingers around big toe. You can hold on to a strap. You can hold on to your ankle, calf, or you can bend that left leg. Bring it to 90 degrees. Bring that left leg back through center and we'll switch out the grip. So right hand to the foot and then draw the left leg across the center of the body. We're coming into a twist. We're gonna get into the outer hip, IT band. And again, option to hold on to the foot, the calf, the ankle. And then bring that leg back towards center. Hug the knee into the chest just real quick. A little squeeze here. And then right knee is gonna meet left. And we'll take 3 rolls along the length of the spine, just massaging out the spinal cord. Last one. We'll come through, cross over the ankles, and then come into tabletop position. And take those wrists underneath the shoulders and the knees right underneath the hips, tops of the feet flat to the floor. 3 cat-cows. Inhale, drop belly, lift crown of head. Exhale, round. At the pace of your own breath. And last time through cat pose, we'll meet back in a tabletop position. And then go ahead and bring that right leg to the right. Position your right heel behind your right toes. And take that left hand right underneath your face. Inhale, right arm up toward the sky. Exhale, sweep that right arm underneath the left. Come onto right shoulder and right ear. On the next inhale, unwind, lift up, and we're gonna place that right hand down on the floor and tuck the left toes under and place the left hip onto the left heel and walk those hands forward. So you should be feeling a lot of stretching in your right inner thigh. Come all the way back up and we'll switch sides. So bring your left leg to the left. Position left heel behind left toes, and then take that right hand right underneath your face. Left arm reaches up, open through the chest, and then slide that left arm behind the right. Come down onto left shoulder and left ear. Big stretch in your left inner thigh, a twist in your spine. On the next inhale, unwind, reach up. We'll place that left hand back onto the floor, tuck the right toes under, right hip meets right heel, and then start to walk the hands forward. Releasing forehead down onto the floor, stretching through the shoulders. And then take one more full breath here. Engage the core as we exhale, and then press back up on the inhale to tabletop position, and then exhale back to downward facing dog as we tuck all 10 toes under, lift the hips high, release the heels down onto the floor, and start to find movement in downward facing dog, pedaling out the legs, pressing into the palms of the hands, and swaying the hips side to side, releasing through the neck, letting the head hang heavy. Let's take 3 more breaths in downward facing dog. Complete the exhale. Look toward the front of the mat and step or float the feet forward. Bring them to hip distance apart. Find ragdoll, generous, bend the knees, rest the torso on the thighs, opposite hand, opposite elbow. Again, option to find movement here. Just slowly working into the body. Let that head dangle, let the arms dangle. One more breath. And release the hands down toward the floor. Heel toe the feet to touch. And then from here, come into ball of yarn. So we'll bend both legs, lift the heels. You can keep the hands on the floor for support. You can reach opposite hand toward opposite elbow. Keep the gaze steady on the floor. Take one more full breath here. Release the hands to the floor if they're not already. Keep the heels lifted on the inhale. Forward fold with lifted heels. Just get the legs as straight as you can. And then exhale, release the heels down onto the floor. Inhale, come all the way up to tall mountain. And we're gonna continue to travel, lifting the heels once more for palm tree pose. Lift the heels and reach through the fingertips. And then exhale, bring hands into the heart, release the heels. With the heels on the floor, inhale to tall mountain, just reach the arms high, and then exhale with a flat back, reach the arms off to the side, hinge at the hips, come all the way down to forward fold. Hold here, working into Uttanasana, working the hamstrings. Start to work the legs a little bit closer to straight. Take one more breath in Uttanasana. And release to ball of yarn. So lift the heels, come down into a low squat. Inhale, lift the hips for forward fold, but keep the heels lifted. Exhale, release the heels onto the floor. Inhale, rise up, tall mountain. Continue to lift the heels as we travel all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart, release the heels to the floor. With the heels on the floor, inhale, sweep the arms up, tall mountain. Exhale, forward fold, come down, hinging at the hips with a flat back. Inhale, come up to halfway lift, monkey pose, Ardha Uttanasana. And then exhale, ball of yarn. So lift the heels, come all the way down, hold here for an extra breath so you have the option to take the hands off the floor, working the balance. And then on the next inhale, with the heels lifted, hands to the floor, Uttanasana, heels lifted. Exhale, release the heels down onto the floor. On the inhale, come all the way up, tall mountain, but continue to lift the heels, travel up, palm tree pose. Get as high as you can, and then exhale, hands to heart, release the heels, continue to travel the hands through, sweep them up with the heels on the floor. Inhale, tall mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, ball of yarn. Lift the heels, come all the way down. Option, hold here for another breath to lift the hands. Exhale. Take the hands onto the floor. Keep your heels lifted. Inhale, forward fold. Exhale, release the heels, Uttanasana. Inhale, last time through, travel all the way up. Continue to reach through the fingertips and lift the heels, palm tree pose. Exhale, hands to heart. Travel those hands through center. Sweep them up on the inhale, Tadasana. Exhale, Uttanasana, come all the way down. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, ball of yarn, come all the way down. Last breath, inhale. Exhale. Inhale, forward fold with heels lifted. Lift those hips high. Exhale, release the heels. On the next inhale, come all the way up to palm tree pose. So we'll lift through the arms, lift the heels, hold here, and then with the heels lifted, sway to the right. Inhale, back through center. Sway to the left. Got to make that movement nice and slow. We'll inhale back through center. Exhale, heels to the floor, cactus the arms. Inhale, tall mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Come all the way down with a flat back. Inhale, halfway lift. And this time, exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands, inhale, step back, plank pose. Hold here. Keep those feet right in line with the hips, shoulders right over the wrists. Hold here. Lift the right leg off the floor for 3, 2, 1, and release, and switch it out. Left leg off the floor for 3, 2, 1. Place it on the floor. Now lift that right leg up off the floor, cross it over the left ankle. Good. Now just rock forward and backward. And this is our last 3, 2, 1. Good. Uncross the ankles and lower down onto the belly. Good. Tops of the feet flat to the floor. Let's take 3 cobras. We'll start with a low lift cobra. So keep the hands right underneath the shoulders. Peel the chest off the floor. Inhale and exhale. Move your hands back an inch in line with the rib cage. Inhale, mid lift cobra. Bring the belly button off the floor if possible. Exhale, release. Bring the hands back another inch and then press all the way up. High cobra, hips stay on the floor. We work towards straight arms. Good. And then exhale, slowly roll down. Elbows stay in. Bring the hands back up underneath the shoulders. Tuck the toes under. Tabletop or plank, pressing all the way back up. And then exhale, downward facing dog. On the next inhale, take the right leg high. Exhale, bring right foot to the outside of right hand. Good. Hold here. Pressing the chest forward, lifting through the crown of the head. Nice strong left leg. And exhale, release left knee onto the floor. Keep the left hand flat to the floor. Bend the left leg, take the hand, reach it around for the inside of the left foot. Start to draw the left foot in. Find a twist in the spine. Maybe looking back toward the left toes. And slowly release. Left foot comes down onto the floor. Come back towards center. Lift that left knee off the floor and then heel toe your right foot back towards center. Place the left knee back on the floor and straighten through the right leg for half splits pose. Ardha Hanumanasana. Go ahead and forward fold over the right leg. Take one more full breath here. Now press forward back into a strong low lunge and continue to travel forward, a little momentum, standing splits pose. So just pop off that back foot, 2 hips stay in one line, 5 toes point down toward the mat, head is hanging heavy, we're looking back toward the back of the mat. Hold here. Use the strength in your hamstring to lift that left leg a little bit higher without lifting the hip. That's the big challenge here. And very slowly with control, step back, low lunge, place that foot on the floor, keep the left hand on the floor, and then we'll twist. So lift your right arm up for twisting lunge, maybe taking the gaze off the floor up toward the fingertips. Take one more full breath here. Inhale. Exhale, option to cactus your arm and start to roll your chest toward the sky. You'll feel an increased stretch in your right glute. Come back towards center on the inhale if you cactus the arm. Exhale, release. Inhale, step back plank pose. Exhale, chaturanga option. So shift forward on the toes, lower down, halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog. This time the hips stay off the floor. Exhale, downward facing dog. Look toward your hands. Step or float both feet toward the front of the mat. Forward fold as we exhale. Inhale, chair pose, sit the hips low, lift the arms high, take the weight back in the heels, reach through the fingertips. Make sure that you have your heels directly behind your toes, so if you're pigeon-toed or vice versa, position them. Good. Now take your hands to your heart. prayer twist. So left elbow to right knee, hold here, maybe get a hook on that elbow, maybe start to look toward the sky. Option to open the arms for the last breath, just an option here. And then bring the hands back toward heart center. Inhale, unwind. Exhale, prayer twist. Right elbow hooks to left knee. See if you can get the hook and then press the hands together, maybe looking toward the sky. Option to open the arms for the last breath. And then bring hands back toward heart center. Unwind, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, monkey. Exhale, forward fold. Keep the hands planted on the floor, step back, plank. Hold here. Good. Lift the left leg off the floor, cross it over the right ankle. Good. Start to rock back and forth for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Uncross the ankles, lower slowly down onto the floor. Zip up your legs, toes, heels touch, inner thighs squeeze together. Interlace the hands behind the back. Inhale, peel the chest off the floor. Reach your fists toward your heels. Hold here for another breath. And then option to lift the feet off the floor. Hold here for another breath. And release. Place those hands back underneath the shoulders, feet back at hip distance apart, press up tabletop or plank. And downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg high. Exhale, left foot to the outside of left hand. Taking these stretches on the other side now. First, really strong wide-legged low lunge. So press your chest forward, lift through the crown of the head. Stay really nice and open through the front body. Nice and strong through your right quadricep. And then we'll place the right knee down onto the floor. Right hand stays where it is, bend that right leg. Take the foot from the inside. Pull the heel toward the hip. And then option to find a twist here. So we can start to look back toward the left toes, twisting from the base of the spine. And a slow release, right foot down toward the floor. Bring that left hand back in position, lift that right knee and heel toe that left foot back towards center so you're in a low lunge, and then place the right knee on the floor. Bring the right hip right over the right knee to straighten out through the left leg, and then forward fold, Ardha Hanumanasana, stretching through the left hamstring. Pull the left hip in line with the right so we're nice and squared. Take one more breath. And then we're going to press forward to a strong low lunge and continue to travel forward, popping off that back foot, coming into standing splits. Square your hips, toes point down, look toward the back of the mat. No tension in upper back or neck. So without lifting your right hip, 2 hips in one line, use the strength of your hamstring and lift that right heel closer to the sky. Should feel your right hamstring working really hard. And then lightly step back, low lunge. Keep your right hand on the floor, find a twist, twisting lunge, lift that left arm to the sky, twisting from the base of the spine through the crown of the head. Keep your core engaged. Take one more inhale here. And then exhale, option to cactus the arm. So pulling the elbow to the left, spiraling the chest toward the sky. It's gonna increase the stretch in your left glute. Hopefully you're feeling that. And then if you're cactused, come back towards center and place the left hand onto the floor. Inhale, step back to plank pose. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Take one full breath here in downward facing dog. And take that right leg high, inhale. Step through low lunge, exhale. Inhale, Rise up to crescent lunge. We're just gonna be here for the inhale. And then as we exhale, we're gonna take hands to the heart, hinge forward 45 degrees, and then we're gonna twist again. So take that left elbow to the outside of the right knee, draw the hands to the heart, extend through the crown of the head. Just like in prayer twist, for the last breath, option to open the arms, bringing the arms parallel to one another, and then hands back to the heart if they're not already. Inhale, come back to center, and then on the exhale, sweep the arms back. So we're in airplane lunge. Hopefully you're feeling that right leg working really hard. Keep the chest nice and lifted and broad. Engage your triceps. And then on the inhale, back through crescent just for the inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Hold here just for one breath. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Bring the hands up. Exhale, prayer squat, hold here. For 3 more breaths, get low in the hips. Work the legs by pressing the knees toward the pinky toes. Last breath. Okay, the inhale brings us back to 5-pointed star. The exhale is going to bring us into Preparatory Uttanasana. So bring the heels behind the toes, hinge at the hips, come all the way down. And from here, we're going to take a wide-legged downward facing dog. So walk your hands forward and then press your hips back. Open up through the shoulders, pressing the chest back through the center of the legs. Once again, no tension in the head or the neck. And complete the exhale here. Walk the hands back underneath the shoulders. Fire up your legs if you let them go. And then inhale, sweep the arms off to the side. Bring your torso parallel to the floor. So working some spine strength here. Now we're gonna get into the core. So bring your left hand to the floor, right hand toward the ceiling. Twist, but without touching. So hold, yes, good. So hold here, fingertips pointing toward the floor, palm faces out. Come back through center and just keep the movement going. Right hand to the floor, left hand to the ceiling. So feel your core making the twist happen. One more time on each side. So come through center, left hand to the floor, right hand toward the ceiling. Fire up your legs so you're not straining your hamstrings. Come back towards center. Last time, right hand to the floor, left hand toward the ceiling. Come back towards center. Hold here for 3, 2, 1, release. And then go ahead and hang here in your fold. Stay engaged in your legs, but see if you can slow the heart down, relaxing the breath. Good, and then halfway lift as if you're doing a monkey pose. Walk your hands back towards center, low lunge. Step back plank pose, lower chaturanga. Upward facing dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. 3 breaths here, we'll mark the other side, then we'll take a break. Take that left leg high. Step through low lunge. Inhale, crescent lunge, just for the inhale here. Exhale, hands to heart center. Now hinge forward, 45 degrees. From this position, twist and hook. Elbow to the outside of the knee. Hold here, strong quadricep in your back leg. Option to open the arms and fly. You can keep the hands at heart center if that's more comfortable. Just 1 breath here. Complete the exhale, hands back to heart center. Inhale, unwind. Here's the big challenge. Stay in this 45-degree position. Sweep the arms back so your front leg is fired up. Feel that heat building in your left hip and glute. And then on your next inhale, just for the transition, crescent lunge and warrior two. Hold here for 1 full breath. Inhale. Exhale, drop those shoulders away from the ears. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Rise up. Exhale, Sink into your squat. Inhale, sweep it back up, 5-pointed star. Exhale, come forward. Forward fold. Standing straddle splits, that's the word I'm looking for. Take one full breath here. Keep those quads engaged. Exhale. Inhale, flat back, and walk your hands to the front of your mat. Inhale, step back plank pose. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bring the shins to the floor, child's pose. Press the hips back, release the forehead down. Take 3 breaths in child's pose. Just letting the breath settle, opening through hips and low back, releasing tension in upper back and neck. And then press it back up, come through, grab a seat, grab a drink. We'll do a couple of preparatory hip postures and some core work, and then we'll come back to our standing sequence. Feeling thankful for that cloud right now. Okay, so the first hip opening posture we're gonna do, so again, we need open hips for hurdler's pose, is cradle the baby posture. So we want to keep both sitting bones grounded on the floor when we come into this posture. We're gonna bring the left leg to the floor, working that knee down toward the floor. It's okay if it's still lifted, but we're working it in that direction. We'll take the right foot into the left hand, right hand onto the left knee, okay? Sit up tall. If this is as deep as you can go today, this is a great place to start. Feel free to find movement here. If you want to take it a little bit deeper, the hip is open. Bring the leg in and wrap the forearms around the shin, okay? You can interlace the fingers. You can reach opposite hand toward opposite wrist. Tall spine, find movement. Okay, so just feel into your own hip where you're holding tension, hold the pose for an extra beat, okay? So if it's tight in one position, just hold it, breathe into it. We'll be here for 3 more breaths. Last full inhale and exhale. And then bring your right leg to a 45-degree angle for Janu Sirsasana. This is a nice hip and hamstring stretch. Left foot to right inner thigh. Take your shoulders and square them toward your foot. Reach both arms up overhead. If you can reach the foot, option to interlace fingers and hook the hands around the foot. Otherwise, we take the hands to the floor, quadricep, shin. Keep your elbows in if your hands are hooked, and then bring that forehead down toward the knee. But again, even if you're nice and upright and lifted, just keep that chest driving toward the toes. Take one more breath here. All right, release from the fold, bring the legs back together. We're gonna do our first set of core, and then we'll take a break and do these stretches on the other side. So come down onto your back. All right, now we're gonna extend the left leg long. This is gonna be similar to what we did at the beginning of class with more focus on the core. So pull the right knee into the chest, give it a little squeeze here, and then extend it up toward the ceiling. Interlace hands around the back of the leg. Start to walk the hands up just to the comfortable edge of the stretch. Lift that left leg off the floor. Lift the forehead toward the knee. Okay, so these are all options. If this feels like too much, the foot comes to the floor or the shoulders come to the floor. Extend your hands forward towards your toes. And then just little pulses here. And this is 5, 4, 3, 2. On 1, hold it up up, up, and lift your arms up for 5. Fire up your legs, 3, 2, 1, and hug the knees into the chest. One more breath here. Let it go. And extend that right leg long. Left leg up toward the sky, hands behind the leg. Start to walk the hands up, just to the comfortable edge of the stretch. Option, lift that right leg off the floor. And extend the hands toward the foot. Hold here and pulse. And this is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now hold it here. Lift your arms straight up to the sky for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hug the knees into the chest. Take a big inhale through the nose. Let it go through the mouth. All right, come back up to a seat. Do our second set of core after cradle the baby on the other side. So this time the right leg comes to the floor. Lift that left leg and hold the left foot with the right hand, left knee with the left hand. Option to stay here. If the hips are open, feel free to wrap the hands around the shin. Sit up nice and straight, and then find movement and cradle the baby. So you can get into a lot of different areas of the hip. Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah. In this pose, you don't necessarily need this leg to be parallel to the front of the mat. You can bring it in like you're doing easy pose, just really focusing here on the left hip. So you'll find with that movement that you reach different areas. Maybe one area is tighter than the other. Hold there for the extra beat, and we'll be here for 3 nice, long, slow, steady breaths. Maybe close the eyes and just tune into the body. Complete the exhale. Good. Janushirsasana on the other side. Extend that left leg out to 45 degrees. Right foot to left inner thigh. Square the shoulders toward the foot, arms up overhead. If you can reach the foot, interlace the hands, make a basket, and cup it around the back of the foot. Elbows will come in and down toward the ground. Otherwise, hands are on the quad, the shin, or the floor. Working that forehead down toward the knee. Hold here. And release. Good. All right, second set of core. We're gonna come into forearm plank. So position your forearms on the mat parallel to one another and walk your feet back. Work toward a completely flat back. So we'll draw the tailbone down and toward the face, and then the gaze is gonna extend past the fingertips. Try not to round the upper back too much and try not to let the hips sag toward the floor. All right, cross your right ankle over your left. Good. And rock for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and switch it out. Left ankle over right and rock it forward for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Uncross the ankles, Sphinx pose. Release the hips down toward the floor. Tops of the feet flat to the floor. Lift through the crown of the head. Press the chest forward. Lower the shoulders away from the ears. And then for lazy Sphinx, a nice upper back stretch. Bring the chin toward the chest. Let the shoulders hunch by the ears. And then start to rock the head side to side, back and forth. Come back to proud Sphinx. Lift through the crown of the head, shine the heart, and press it back, extended child's pose. Just stretch out through the arms, let the head rest, release all the tension from the neck for one more full breath. And make your way back to downward facing dog. We'll return to some standing postures in preparation for hurdler's pose. Reconnect to your Ujjayi breath in downward facing dog. On the next inhale, take the right leg high. And once again, right foot to the outside of right hand for a wide-legged low lunge. Keep that back knee lifted off the floor and start to bring your right hand to the inside of your leg and around the ankle. Good. Other way. Yes, perfect. Okay, now start to tuck your right shoulder underneath your right arm. Okay, this is great prep for hurdler's pose. Get it as low as you can go. So maybe your knee is resting all the way on top of your shoulder. Now, place your right hand on the floor next to your right foot and shimmy your right foot forward. Okay, so this is just prep. If this is too much with the back knee lifted, lower it to the floor and then flex your right toes so your heel is pressed to the floor. All right, everyone in position, are you ready? We're gonna lift that right foot off the floor. Your quad is engaged. Lift it as high as you can. So the weight of your leg is rested on the back of your arm. Good. And lower, tap it, lift, lower, lift, lower, for 3, and 2, and 1. This is one of the movements you're gonna need for this arm balance later, so we're just warming up. Place that foot back on the floor, release your arm from underneath, and then just heel toe your foot back towards center so you're in low lunge. Good, back knee off the floor. Inhale, reach both arms up for crescent lunge. Exhale, airplane lunge. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, full airplane. Inhale, crescent lunge. Step back, lift your arms. Exhale, standing splits. So this time hands either come to the ankle or the floor. Hold here. And then place your hands on the floor if they're not already and bring your left toes up to the left. Good, and tap your left toes to the right. Tap and lift. And this is just your last one. We're just doing 3 of these. And lift and tap, and we'll come back to standing splits and slowly come through to standing staff. Reach your arms up overhead. Okay, now go ahead and take your hands, wrap them around your knee. Pull your knee into your chest, and then off to the left and up toward the left shoulder. Hold here. Keep your shoulders right over your hips so you're standing nice and tall. And bring your leg back to center. Cross your left ankle over your right knee. Hands to heart, sink low. Hold here. Keep the chest lifted. Just getting into that hip. All right, back to standing staff on the inhale. And your exhale is gonna be warrior 2. So you're gonna step back and open at the same time. Extend those arms long. Place the foot down on the floor. Hold here. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, low lunge. Step back, plank pose, inhale. Lower chaturanga, exhale. Upward facing dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Take 3 breaths here, and then we'll take that on the other side. Last full breath. And let's do that on the other side. So left leg lifts, step through, low lunge, exhale. Inhale, crescent lunge, rise up. Exhale, airplane lunge. So sweep the arms back as the chest drives forward, squeeze the triceps. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, full airplane. So find that same movement in the arms. This time the leg lifts off the floor. Get your balance here first, and then on the exhale, we step lightly back. Inhale, back to crescent lunge. Exhale is standing split. So this time the hands come all the way down toward the floor. Right leg lifts up, but the hip stays squared. And then take the hands on the floor if they're not already. Right foot comes up and to the right, and right foot taps to the left. So you work that hip and glute for 2 more. Sweep it up and across, and to the left, tap it. Last one, up and to the right, tap it, squeeze everything, and then we'll return to standing splits. Hips are squared, and then very slowly with control, without touching that foot down, standing staff. Right leg comes up and through. Arms reach high, leg bent or straight, and then we're gonna hug the right knee into the chest. Interlace the hands around the knee, hug it in first toward the chest, elbows stay in, and then take that knee and bring it to the right and up toward the shoulder. So you're feeling a nice compression in your right hip flexor. Keep your left leg nice and engaged, shoulders right over the hips. Try to avoid any hunching. And then we're gonna cross that right ankle over the left knee, hands to the heart. Sink low for standing pigeon pose. Hold here, keep your gaze steady to help you with your balance. Down on the floor about 2 feet in front of you. Okay, press it back up, standing staff. Just a nice extension of the arms, maybe the leg, and then step way back on your mat with control to warrior 2. Open up the arms, open up the hip, sink down, hold here for another full breath. Reverse warrior, up and back, low lunge. Step back, plank pose, inhale. Lower chaturanga, exhale. Upward facing dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Take your left leg high, left foot to the outside of the left hand. Good. Preparation for hurdlers on the other side. Left arm comes underneath and around the left ankle. Good. Hug it in really, really tight. Squeeze your left knee toward your left shoulder, and then place your left hand to the outside of your left foot. See if you can get that knee as high up on the shoulder as possible, and then start to shimmy your left leg forward. Now, option to take that right knee down toward the floor, and then press your heel down, flex your toes back. Good. So stretching and strengthening at the same time.
Your weight's on your arm.
Yeah, so the weight of the leg is on the arm at this point, because eventually it'll be completely on the arm. Okay, now start to lift that left foot off the floor. You can do it. Engage the quad, you can do it. Look at that foot and tell it to lift. There you go. For 5, 4, this is working your quadricep. 3, as well as getting that nice stretch for 2, and 1. Good. Don't feel discouraged. Heel toe that left foot back towards center. Lift that left leg off the floor. Step back, plank pose. Chaturanga, exhale. Upward facing dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Okay, come down onto the shins. Take a little break. The next preparatory posture we're gonna do is a off-center splits pose. So when we come into hurdler's pose, there's gonna be 2 options with the leg bent and the leg straight. It's basically like a crooked splits. So we wanna have the hips open and the hamstrings open. So this will be a good preparation pose. So we're gonna come back into half splits. So right where we were before, with the left hip right over the left knee. And this time we're gonna take the hands to the inside of the right leg and then shimmy that foot off to the edge of the mat. Okay, and we can take our left knee and shimmy it just slightly off to the edge of the left side of the mat. Good, and then start to slide or walk that foot forward. Good, so it's an open hipped splits. Good, yeah, you got it. You can have the foot flat or the toes tucked under. Good, so just work that hamstring, that's perfect, good.
Need my towel on.
Yeah, to slide. You can slide on the rocks. Just hold here for a couple more breaths. Okay, so this position with the legs is going to be the position our legs will be in hurdler's pose for one of the variations. A lot of times people feel that this open hip variation of splits pose is a little bit easier. Would you agree, Kathy? Yeah. Yeah. All right, so let's bring that back. And then we're gonna do the same thing. So we start with the half splits position on the left side. We're gonna heel toe the left foot to the edge of the left side of the mat. And then you can just take your right knee and just maybe an inch or so to the right. Good. And then start to slide or shimmy or whatever you need to do that left leg forward at an angle so the hips are open. You can have that right foot flat to the floor, the toes tucked under, whatever's more comfortable and supportive as you open up the hips and the left side of the hamstring. And we'll just hold here. So work with the breath. We're opening up the body. This is a very, very deep hamstring opener as well as a hip opener. So with each exhale, see if you can sink a little bit deeper into it or let go a little more of the tension. We'll take 2 more breaths. And bring that leg back in. Bring your hips to your heels and just kind of rock it around. Okay, so there are a couple different ways you can come into hurdler's pose. We're going to come into it from a 3-legged dog, so I'll just show you your 2 options for this pose. So from downward facing dog, we're going to take that right leg high. We're going to bring the right knee toward the right upper arm, okay? So first variation is with the knee bent. We bring that left elbow in like chaturanga arms, so we rest our hips onto our elbows, and then we experiment with lifting the left toes off the floor. Okay, now option number 2, the prep we just did, is to straighten that right leg. Okay, so we'll do it together. I'll walk you through it. Let's come back into downward facing dog. Take 2 more breaths. Get your mind focused. This is a very big combination of balance and courage and flexibility. So we're not hurling ourselves into the posture. Take the right leg high, bring the right knee to the top of the right arm. Good. Just like we're tapping it. Shimmy your elbows in. There you go, Josh. Yes. Nice. Good, 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 good. That's the yoga grunts I like to hear. Good, you guys are amazing. That's awesome. I've seen you do that before.
Yeah.
Perfect. Good. Well, let's try the other side. All right, 3 more breaths. Get your mind calm and focused. Your breath steady. All right, left leg lifts. Left knee to left armpit. Hug it in tight. Now hug your arms in. Rest your hips onto your arms. Look forward. Maybe experiment with taking that right toes off the floor. Maybe extend the left leg straight. Side might feel a little more challenging. Good, hug the elbow in. There you go. You got it, you got it, you got it. Nice, nice, nice. Good. Nice. Awesome. That's courage.
Right's definitely easier. It's the arm underneath the leg.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you guys are both getting it when you're coming at it with the knee to the upper arm. Perfect. All right, so let's cool down for a couple breaths before Savasana. Take some twists. So go ahead and lay down on your back. All right, hug your knees into your chest. Little squeeze here, and then bring your arms to capital T, palms face down, and then just rock your knees to the right, just to hover, come back through center, rock your knees to the left. So we're just massaging out our low back. And 2 more times on each side. Come to the left, release the knees to the mat or the ground, look to the right, hold here. Deep belly breaths. Come back through center, release the knees to the right, hold here, deep belly breaths. Come back through center. Separate the knees and feet, happy baby. Or you can take knees to chest pose one more time. These are our last couple breaths before Savasana. Before you come into Savasana, find one more little squeeze of the knees into the chest, maybe forehead touches the knees. And then release everything. Extending the legs long, arms by the side. Palms facing up, feet falling open, fingers relaxed. Let go of the breath. Start to wiggle the fingers and the toes. Roll the wrists and the ankles. Work the arms up for a full body stretch, reaching from fingertips to toes. And then rolling onto the side, cradling the head and the arm, hugging the knees into the chest. Take this last moment to acknowledge your practice, to set an intention for the rest of your day. And then slowly press up to a seat. And find your hands at heart center. Take a nice deep inhale through the nose, fill all the way up. Let it go through the mouth. Today, as you go forward, may you have peace in your thoughts, peace in your words, peace in your heart. Namaste.